I'll make my points.
We have a list of questions for you folks listening at home. We had a plan for today's show, but as soon as we logged on, we have a lot of people that work on the show, and they were all logged on, and they all wanted to talk about this. And Mr. Regal just started talking, and I said, let's press record. This is what we're talking about today. So let's talk about this today, and let's take it back to the beginning real quick. Couple questions. 19 years old. He tries out, and he couldn't get in because of his age. Dominic asked in the chat here, he said, is that a WWE policy? Was there any other reason?
There used to be there was certain things that happened that and it happens later, and I'm living proof of that. If you get given too much too soon, you usually end up, it doesn't work out. That's just one thing that is a general rule. You get these things that come up, and it's maturity. Another thing is they can't rent you a rental car. There's all kinds of different things, but a lot of it is just maturity. And now things have changed, right? But if you are a wrestler, there's certain things that people want. Also, at 19, there's the odd exception, but you're not quite, you might think you're ready. You know, I can tell you the story that, it's out there to see. I got on TV my first time when I was 18. I saw myself and I thought, I don't belong on here. You think you're a lot of things when you're 18 and 19, and you're not, right? And I'd been wrestling and training with the best people you could possibly be with at that point, but I wasn't ready. So, but the main thing was there was a few people years before there'd been maturity issues, and I'm sorry to say it, but it's also happened at other times, in more recent times. And it starts off good, and like with me, I did everything I could possibly do. I was right until I was in my mid-20s when I was in America, and all of a sudden I started looking for something that wasn't there. So there's sometimes that is just keeping an eye on people and seeing how they mature and whatever, right? And that was it. So there was just a very brute sort of a law. It wasn't a solid thing, but he wasn't also at 19. He wasn't like he says. He wasn't the bigger. He certainly doesn't look like he looks now, and he hadn't matured enough.
But he was at the level. That
wasn't on him.
He was the level that you, according to him, took your arm around him, took him to a separate room and talked to him.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like something you would do for everybody.
No, no, not everybody. Very few. I saw something very special in him. But again, here we go. I'm very fortunate that Daniel Bryan and Brian Kendrick came into my life in 2000. That started a lot of my connections with the world. And they were always different, right? And Bryan Danielson has gone on to, he's never had a waiver apart from injury. It was incredible, everything, right? From day one. Very few and far between that happens with anybody at a young age. There's always things happen, right? But Daniel Bryan at the time, WWE didn't want him, and so he went and whatever he had to do, and between going to England, getting hired in making a name for himself on the independent scene, going to the LA dojo when it was Mr. Inoki had it at the time, all these things that have made him into what he is. So it was just, I met him and those things happened for him. I met MJF at 19. I was told about him. I saw the specialness in him. I saw that he's going to get there, but it was, I'm not going to, you need a couple of years out there. And I used to tell people that, I told this to Brian after the next time. I used to talk to Brian, Claudio. They're all people and countless others people. Go out and do as much as you can on the independent scene, make a name for yourself, and then when the time's right, give me a call and I'll do something for you. Right? That's the way it is. John Moxley turned up in my life one day, and it just happened to be the first day that I was in a position to be able to do something. I knew about him because I followed different things, and I got him an opportunity to talk in front of Triple H on his first day. He's wrote about that in his book.
Hey, Mr. Regal, I need to interrupt you real quick because I had Dominic ask some questions on Twitter about this, and we had a response from somebody. Steve Kaufman's going to throw up a tweet that's screenshotted that just happened. It's from MJF when we said taking questions now regarding the MJF exchange this past Wednesday, and MJF himself had a question. How's he going to feel when I prove him wrong on December 19th?
I'm going to feel